Good morning, YouTube friends. We're at day 2 at the Ozark Homesteaders Expo, and I'm Gene.
And I'm Joyce.
And we're Morris Patch of Heaven.
My name is Kevin, and this is my wife Sarah. We're from Living Traditions Homestead. If any of you follow us, we have a YouTube channel where we teach people how to live a self-sufficient life and how to make a lot of mistakes in the time doing it. So, do any of you follow us on YouTube? Well, we don't have much more to say.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So much.
We really do appreciate all of you watching this. It's a lot of work to put out these videos, and we know that if we can spread the word that there's another way to live, that you don't have to be caught up in the rat race. Sarah and I both had corporate jobs for a long time. We had very stressful jobs. I was traveling a lot. I was in sales, doing like federal contracts and things that I never want to talk about ever again. And Sarah was a human resources director, and neither of us want to ever go back to that life. We escaped, and we now live here in the Missouri Ozarks and are so blessed with living our dream life.
So like Kevin said, we have been in this area. We actually live in the Ava area. We're east of Ava, so it's about 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2.5 hours from here. We absolutely love it. The Missouri Ozarks are where we want to be for the rest of our lives. It's like absolutely beautiful here. But for 16 years prior to this, we were in the Phoenix area of Arizona, actually in Gilbert. We started this little adventure with our first house and probably a 4-foot by 6-foot raised bed garden and 3 citrus trees that died. So we're not the best at everything, but that is what got us hooked. We realized that the things at the store taste terrible, and we can grow things in our backyard regardless of how big it is, how small it is. Even on your porch of your apartment, you can grow good food for yourself, and that started our journey. We had a couple different houses at different points in that area. Each time we moved, we did more and more in our backyard. A lot of things we probably shouldn't have done because of HOA rules, and some of you may be living in those restrictions right now.
It's amazing what you can get away with when you bribe your neighbors with tomatoes.
So anyway, in our second house was, the dream house. Everybody grows up and they think, wow, I need a big fancy house and a nice fancy car and this, corporate job, and I need to make a lot of money, and that will make us happy, right? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. And we accomplished a lot of those things, and we were miserable. And we were on the verge of divorce because we hated our jobs, we hated our mortgage, we hated our neighborhood, we hated the rules, and we hated buying all the terrible stuff in the grocery store. So we just started sinking every minute of our time into growing as much of our own food as we could. And we started by we started salsa, right?
Right. Yeah. So
Share. This is kind of weird.
We're not good sharers, so. So like Sarah said, we were still in just a regular neighborhood with a homeowners association. We had converted the entire backyard into a garden. I'm sure the other homes around us, which were 2-story houses, and could see down into our yard. Because in Arizona, if you've never been to Arizona, every house has like a block wall around it. So you feel like you're private until you realize you're surrounded by 2-story houses that are just looking down into your yard. But we had converted the entire thing into gardens. We actually had chickens as well, even though we weren't supposed to. And we grew enough tomatoes one year that we could actually make some homemade salsa. And we made a ton of homemade salsa, and we had no idea what to do with it because we made probably 30 pounds of homemade salsa. And so we thought, we should learn how to can. And that was the very first thing that we ever canned, is we canned some jars of salsa, and that started us realizing that, oh my gosh, this is way better than what we were buying at Walmart. And we grew that by ourselves. And from there on out, it was, at that point, we were still in this big house, and we thought, you know what, we're going to do everything that we can to change the way that we live. So for about the next 8 years, we worked as hard as we could to become 100% debt-free. We paid off everything or got rid of everything that had a payment. And we actually then we sold that big house and we bought a house that even our realtor said should be condemned. But it had an acre of land in the Phoenix area. So we bought this house, we moved in, it didn't even have flooring in it. It had like plywood floors. It didn't even have toilets when we moved in. That's how bad the house was. But we saw the land and we thought, this land is, we can get as crazy as we want on this piece of land. Well, we did. We lived there.
Hey, it's Joyce from Morris Patch of Heaven Homestead here with Sarah and Kevin from Living
Hey, everybody.
Traditions. These are our friends. We feel like they are. We've watched them forever now, and it was so wonderful to meet you guys in person.
Yeah.
And to have our little one, Avonlea, who's only 8, say, we know these people, these are our friends. But we just are so excited to meet you.
Well, thank
Sorry.
you.
Just
I'm
feel
all
like-
sweaty. It's
Oh,
so
Yeah.
hot out.
okay. It's
Yeah.
just, it's one of those things that we feel like these ones that we see on YouTube that we really connect with.
Yeah.
We just feel like friends. And it was so funny when I said hi to you, I just assumed you would know
Right.
who I was.
Yeah, who are they?
But I guess if we had a question for you, it would be, is there anything that you don't know how to do? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like watching you, I'm
Yes,
learning
but we
so
don't do
much.
videos about those things.
What don't we know how to do? Well, we don't know how to cold smoke yet. That's one thing that we want
Right?
to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preserving our meat through cold smoking. That's on my to-do list to build a smokehouse. but-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're just venturing into seed saving, so we haven't done a whole lot of that this year.
I've been watching you.
We're doing some with tomatoes and eggplant seed for Baker
Which
Creek.
are actually pretty easy ones to do.
Yeah, we've never done anything with sheep.
Okay.
We don't really want to, but we don't have any.
Right.
We don't have
Yeah.
any experience with sheep.
Yeah. So of course there's
Yeah, lots of
there's
things.
lots of things.
Yeah.
Even we still watch YouTube to learn things.
That's
I
true.
mean, sometimes I joke and say most of what I know in life came from YouTube, and that's
Pretty much true.
that's pretty much true. Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
saying something about you don't think your children will go into these days. Why is that?
Oh,
Do you think it might have to do with the fact that you sent them to school and don't homeschool? That maybe the hands-on
well,
homeschool?
to be honest, we had no choice originally.
Okay.
Both Kevin and I worked in corporate America for a long time. And when we moved out here, we gave them the choice if they wanted to go to school or if they wanted to be homeschooled. And they said they wanted to go to public school because they're very social, they're into music, they're into music programs.
And they were already older. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we started all of this when they were real young. It might be different.
Yeah.
It's not that they're not interested in it. It's that I think, both of our girls want to be teachers, and I think they get that from us. I think we're natural teachers, and both of our kids want to go into teaching. So that's, but we're just not teaching about chickens.
Yeah.
Definitely are good teachers.
Who knows?
Right.
Maybe.
So we definitely appreciate meeting you. And,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank
We're
you,
glad
guys.
that this ended up being a beautiful day.
Yes, yes.
hope to see you again at maybe at Baker's Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Sun Ovens International, and want to just explain a little bit about the All-American Sun Oven. The All-American Sun Oven folds up and carries like a suitcase, and yet it sets up in less than 5 seconds. And this is a way to bake, boil, or steam food. So you can pretty much make anything in here that you make in your stovetop or your regular oven, with the exception of fried foods. The oven has a leg in the back that allows you to raise or lower it to meet the sun wherever it is in the horizon. It has indicators built in, so there's no guesswork to that. But if you do that with food inside, then it has a rack that keeps your food from spilling. Now there's 2 ways to cook in a sun oven. Let's say you were going to make a 3-pound chicken. If you put a 3-pound chicken in a pot, you put it in the sun oven, you realign the sun oven every 30 minutes, you can cook a 3-pound chicken in as little as an hour and a half. Or you could take a frozen chicken, put it in your sun oven in the morning, just set it facing south, leave for the day, come back at supper and have a cooked roast. That rack inside, by the way, folds up, and then you can make up to a 21-pound turkey in a baking bag.
Wow.
And anytime I ever make a turkey, anybody's eaten it has said the light meat of the turkey is more moist than the dark meat they've ever eaten. It's just so moist and so succulent when you cook in the sun. In addition to cooking, you can also use it as a solar dryer or dehydrator. When we cook, we latch the latches shut. It forms an airtight seal to hold the heat in, but if you take and turn one of the latches in towards the center and put the glass on top of it, there's a gap of air here and allows moist air to escape, and then you can use it as a solar dehydrator. It's wonderful. This time of year, it seems like lots of people have way too many tomatoes.
Yes.
And just taking your tomatoes, cutting them up, putting them in here, and sun dry them, just throw them in mason jars. They'll last about 8 months.
Wow.
In addition to that, something that's really kind of interesting to homesteaders is the idea of being able to make hard-boiled eggs. When you make hard-boiled eggs, you don't use water. If I just take an egg and sit it on the shelf, a hard boil without water.
Oh,
but
my word.
the unique thing about it is we raise chickens, and I've taken eggs within 20 minutes of dropping out of the chicken, hard boil in the sun oven, and it'll peel instantly.
Oh,
that
wow.
membrane that builds up between the eggshell and the egg white
Amazing.
completely disappears.
That's
If you
great.
take a bunch of eggs and put them in a pot, the hard boil fine, but anywhere the eggs touch each other, you'll get a brown spot on the white of the egg. But if you take cardboard egg cartons, you rip the lids off them, you can do 2 dozen eggs at a time, takes about an hour, be the easiest peeling eggs that you've ever had.
That's wonderful.
We have, some of them have been around a long time. They have no obsolescence built into them. I mean, many people bought them from the inventor. I've been making them the last 21 years, but
Okay.
many people bought them from the inventor in the late 1980s are still using them. So they're, when somebody invests in one, it lasts a lifetime. But we have projects all over the world with the sun ovens, and we also make a large commercial oven for use in developing countries. So when we sell ovens here, it helps us offset the work we do internationally.
Very good. Well, thank
Very
you so
good.
much. We appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Stop
thank
by.
you for.
Okay, thank you. What are you doing?
Are we live? Hey guys, Gene Morris from Morris Patch of Heaven here. We're here with the Elderberry man.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Glad you made it out to the show.
Yeah. How's everything going?
Everything's going great. It's the first time we've had this Ozark Homesteaders show here in Missouri, and
Oh, yeah.
we think that in the future it'll be much
yes.
bigger. We have
Yeah.
a great crowd here today.
Yes.
And we're really happy to be here.
Oh yeah,
Glad to see you two here too.
Great turnout, huh? That's really good. Yeah.
It'll be better next year.
Oh, it will be. It will be. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Well, we'll be here.
Good. And all your
Remember, you can still get a beautiful elderberry juice. You can order it online from us at riverhillsharvest.com.
Yep.
Or you can pick it up in your stores around the country. If they don't have it, ask for it. They can get it.
Yeah, you bet.
They can go to that and they can download a really great catalog of growing elderberries if you sign up for our newsletter.
Awesome.
All right, very good. Very
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks a lot. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, God bless you.
Yeah, it doesn't make any good every day. No. This coming right like this.
Hi guys, we're Gina and Joyce from Morris Patch of Heaven Homestead, and we're at the Neosho Ozark Homestead Expo, and we're enjoying our time with our new YouTube friends, Cindy and Gary from Pathways Homestead. Ooh, hello. Okay, so we wanted to ask you, what do you enjoy most about homesteading?
I would have to say looking at the shelves and the freezers full of food. I think that's my favorite part.
I think for me it's the accomplishment. And a lot of times the food's part of the accomplishment. But yes, to see what we can do with our own hands and what we created, what we made, that's probably the best thing.
And it's a little bit more than that too, because like I feel like I'm doing what God wants me to do, because I spent too many years in fear and just stepping out there and doing it and not feeling like I wasted my life.
And then the things that we accomplish, there's so much meaning in those things. One of the things we do a lot of is we butcher our own meat and have for a long time. And there's such a spiritual meaning in that for me. I know from the scripture that Jesus came and gave his life and shed his blood to give us eternal life. And so when I take an animal's life in order to sustain our life, it's such a deep reminder of what Jesus has done for us. And so it's very spiritual for me.
Thank you, and it's been fun getting to know you guys. and we look forward to getting to know you guys even more.
Yes, thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Great meeting.
Okay, guys, it's Gina and Joyce from Morris Patch of Heaven Homestead, and we have been at the Ozark Homesteading Conference, or Expo, all weekend, and it has been a long and lovely time. It's been hot. So we are going to end now. We hope that you like what you saw. If so, subscribe, tell a friend, push that like button. Until next time, God bless you.